Number 9. Soft-shelled dinosaur eggs. Dinosaur finds are not exactly new things, and rarely are they mysterious unless they're of massive size or they seem to indicate a new dinosaur species. Either way, they're always exciting. But sometimes a mystery comes in the form of a revelation, and new revelation from the recent finds in Antarctica seems to indicate that the dinosaurs may not have laid eggs like we thought they did. For many decades, dinosaurs were thought to be primarily like birds in how they have hard-shelled eggs that could be protected by predators by the parents watching over them. However, 2 brand new fossil eggs show that certain eggs were soft-shelled, and that changes some things about our perception of dinosaurs, because this could mean that some dinosaur species acted a lot more like lizards and reptiles and buried their eggs in burrows and nests, and then left them to their own devices. The eggs are 200 million years old, based on scans, and that changes things in a new way. Not to mention, it adds more mystery as to how dinosaurs lived and how much we still don't know about them. Number 8. The smelly corpses. Not so much a mystery as a question of intent. The ongoing warming of the planet caused by greenhouse gases is causing a lot of problems, both known and unknown. Specifically, it's melting snow at the tops of mountains and other frozen areas within the melting landscapes. New discoveries are emerging, like dead bodies that have been frozen and lost to the world until now. To be clear, the mystery here isn't that of who the bodies are and how long they were there, though inevitably that will be a question that needs to be answered. However, the mystery lies in what is going to happen with those bodies once they are exposed, because it was the snow that was keeping them not just out of sight, but out of smelling range. Because as the snow melts, there are going to be a lot of smelly corpses exposed, and smell can carry quite a ways. What's more, should these bodies not be taken care of and they slip down the mountains and enter the water supply through rivers and such, they can cause diseases to spread to others, and that's not something the locals will want. Number 7. Stonehenge. In Salisbury Plain in southern England, you will find a rock formation that is perhaps one of the most famous and mysterious monuments on the planet. This is the place known simply as Stonehenge. The structure itself is composed of 30 upright stones made of sarsens. Each stone weighs about 26 tons. All 30 of these stones are aligned in a circle, and as you can see, stones can be found on top of them, connecting the structure in such a way that makes it clear there was a plan in its construction. There's even stones within the inner circle of Stonehenge that have their own formation, again signifying a plan upon building it. The discovery of Stonehenge isn't exactly new, but the meaning behind its construction is what is forever keeping scientists guessing. After some study, it was found that both equinoxes and solstices of our world line up perfectly within the gaps of Stonehenge, leading many to believe it to be a solar and lunar calendar of sorts. The biggest mystery of Stonehenge, though, concerns the way it was built. There have been numerous studies done on Stonehenge, and the sarsen stone has possibly had its origins found 15 miles away, according to recent reports. Furthermore, the smaller bluestone dolerite rocks in its central circle came from Carn Godog and Craig Rossifellen quarries in the Preseli Hills in Wales, some 143 miles away. The reason this particular mystery is so compelling is because the origin of Stonehenge itself is said to be around 2000 to 3000 BC, long before many advanced tools were around. That's why so many people think there were other forces involved in the construction of Stonehenge, because nothing else really makes sense. There are many theories. Many modern scholars agree now that Stonehenge was once a possible burial ground, but they have yet to figure out what other purposes it served and how a civilization without modern technology produced the mighty monument. In 1620, the first Duke of Buckingham, George Villiers, dug a huge hole in the ground at the center of Stonehenge looking for buried treasure. Did he find any? There are even those that believe Stonehenge was crafted by extraterrestrials, leaving their mark on the earth as a signal to otherworldly beings. To this day, it's still not exactly clear what the purpose is, but you can be sure the guesses will keep coming. What do you think the purpose of Stonehenge is? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Number 6. Woman warriors. There were a lot of unexpected discoveries made in 2020, specifically about women. In north of Mongolia, the discovery of the skeletons of two 1,500-year-old warrior women is shedding some light as to the possible origins of the Chinese Mulan myth, popularized by Walt Disney. A dig site in Russia from the 4th century BC revealed to the world 4 women buried with their weapons like spears and arrowheads, and also horseback riding equipment alongside them. They would have been part of the matriarchal Scythian society that are said to be the inspiration for such strong, fierce female characters like Wonder Woman and Xena. Going back even further than that, a 9,000-year-old Peruvian grave contained a young woman laid to rest, also with her hunting tools. Most people had assumed, in the past, that women would not be participating in any warfare. This new evidence suggests it's time to reconsider assumptions that men were the exclusive hunters in prehistoric society. Women of childbearing age and even into their 50s were participating in battles when it was necessary. It also proves that women and children were also trained to ride horses and wield weapons like the boys and the men. Women can be just as powerful and just as deadly as men. Number 5. The Mystery Stela. Egypt was home to many pharaohs, both male and female, but one of the most famous of all was that of Ramses II. He was not only well known, he was one of the longest reigning pharaohs in Egyptian history, making many curious when a stela was found during a dig that featured him making an offering to a god. The stela in question was found in 2018 at the ancient city of Tanis, now called San al-Hagar. The site was already a boon for archaeological digs, but this stela tablet was something else entirely. For not only was it found perfectly upright, no one is able to decipher either the hieroglyphics that are on the tablet or the god that Ramses II is making an offering for. This wouldn't be the first time some mysterious images have appeared in stone, but having it happen with a well-known pharaoh? That's another matter. Who is Ramses making the offer to? It's very much a conundrum, and it's something that many are trying to solve in order to get a better view into Egypt and those that once resided in it. Number 4. Terracotta Army. In China, 1974, the tomb of the first Chinese emperor of the Qin dynasty was discovered buried underground. An archaeology team began to excavate the area in order to find not just his remains, but what he was buried with, which led to quite the surprise. One of the archaeologists had a statue with his shovel, but instead of bronze or another metal, it was made of terracotta. As they continued to dig the tomb, they found 8,000 terracotta statues positioned around the burial site of the emperor. They also found 130 chariots with 520 horses and 150 cavalry horses. What was the purpose of this? The followers of Emperor Qin Shi Huang wanted him to be protected in the afterlife, so they buried an army with him so that he would have loyal followers at his side should he need it. Yet, what might be the most important part about the Terracotta Army is the detail in the making of the statues themselves. First, each and every member of the Terracotta Army had its own unique face. But while we have information about the tomb, there are still many questions, including why they felt the true need, to go to such efforts. Why this particular leader? Other such fallen rulers didn't have this extensive a gift, so why him? Was this truly just a desire by his followers, or was there something else at play? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Number 3, Gobekli Tepa. Gobekli Tepa is actually Turkish for Potbelly Hill, but its historical significance is much grander than its name, and just as mysterious. This structure was apparently made 6,000 years before Stonehenge, putting it very likely to be 11,000 years old in terms of being built. The structure itself is nearly 2,500 feet above sea level and is nearly 1,000 feet in diameter. It was originally believed that Gobekli Tepa was nothing more than a cemetery due to its placement and the objects found initially. However, a series of pillars with ancient writings on them were later discovered, showing that it wasn't just a cemetery. As for its purpose in Turkey, that's up for debate. The person who discovered the importance of it, Klaus Schmidt, believed that it was a sanctuary. A temple of some sort has also been suggested by researchers. In 2018, the site was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, ensuring that it will be protected and preserved, as well as ensuring that the mystery endures. Number 2, the jawbone of history. A jawbone found in 2018 is believed to be the oldest human bone found outside of Africa. The importance of this has to deal with the fact that most scientists believe that Homo sapiens were born in Africa, and then at some point in time migrated out of the continent, which led to Europe and Asia being colonized in their own time. At present, the previous oldest bone found outside of Africa was from 80,000 to 120,000 years ago. However, this jawbone, which was found in a cave in Israel, is believed to be at least 50,000 years older than that. This suggests that humans may have moved out of Africa much earlier than previously believed. This, in turn, could rewrite what we know about the human race and its evolution. What's more, if such a discovery is true and verified, it would also mean that there are other bones like this that need to be discovered. The question of our lineage and where we all came from is one of the greatest human mysteries out there. So if this points us in a certain direction, what might the next find lead us to? Number 1, ancient animal traps. In Egypt, as well as Israel and Jordan, pilots that flew over the area often saw objects that didn't make much sense. Basically, they saw that there were low stone walls in the desert, and that they would crisscross each other in ways that didn't mean much to them. They were too low to be full-on defenses, and their crisscross pattern wouldn't align with a military strategy. In Jordan, some of the lines are up to 40 miles long. Upon study, it was found that their walls, now called kites, were from about 300 BC, and that they have been left in the dirt for some time. What was their true purpose? There have been a lot of theories as to that, but what eventually emerged was that these actually were a time of rudimentary animal traps. Meant for small animals, hunters would use the walls to guide them to where they wanted to go. Though there is still some mystery into how they came up with such an idea, why so many nations had the same concept, and how the animals would be caught after they were guided. Finally, and just as importantly, if this was one method of their hunting tactics, what were the others they used? Do you have any ideas? Thanks for watching. What do you think of these mysterious archaeological discoveries? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Bye.